Hey everybody out there, YouTube. I 12 Soul here. I'm out here in Texas, up by close to Austin. I told myself that next time that I did a video that I had asked some questions because a couple of days ago and yesterday I saw some stuff on the media that had kind of bothered me, and got upset about it. Well, last night I was listening to this thing, and you guys might want to maybe download this audiobook. I do a lot of audiobooks. One of them is Hinduism for Dummies. It's very long. It's like 14, 15 hours long. So I listened to it most of the night while I was sleeping. It kind of goes into your subconscious when you do this stuff. All right, so I woke up this morning. One of the things that the Gita, okay, well, not just the Gita, but there's the Mahabharata, and there's the Puranas. The Indian people, they're old, very old culture. Aryan culture, I suppose. There's some Dravidians in there too. It was raining all last night here in Texas, so it's just a beautiful, beautiful day. Now the world or America, okay, you guys take your pick, no matter where you are, okay, the Philippines, I don't know, Japan, Europe. There have been a lot of changes. This 9/11 thing, 20 years ago, it started it off. Some people say that World War III started 20 years ago. I don't know if I agree with any of the ideas, but there's, right now in our human world, okay, there's a lot of history being made. So I have some questions, and you could just put why any country would fall, but since I live here in America, right, I got these questions, and any complicated situation. So I'm going to read from the script because I kind of want to make sure that I, kind of get some things right. So these are my musings as I woke up this morning. It's interesting that the people of America as a nation has been reacting to stimulus. Okay, now the people here in Texas right now, there's silence in this trailer park right here, where there's a number of Americans here. There's no riots. There's no nothing. There's last night it was quiet, right? And it tells me a story. It's very telling. So since I don't watch TV, and I really can't watch TV because it upsets me, I have to walk out and maybe call somebody in Ireland, or call somebody here or there on Messenger, talk about some things. And well, anyway, let's check this out. So outside the reality, we have conflict. So it's in our own houses, going right through our television sets, right? So this is the most important thing that I got from the Gita, all right? When you have a complicated situation, sort of like what's going on today, all right, asking questions closely related to the subject has been a method used in the past with great cultures like India, okay, right, to find the answers to complicated questions for the human culture. All right, so what are the questions? Right now, currently, okay, we've got this thing called Lives Matter. You put the word there, okay? All right. So here are the questions. You guys think about this if you want to. Right. What is a race? What's the definition of a race? How does this word relate to our current situation of violence? Right. Is a race put into our language? Does that relate? What other words relate to it? A race. Think about a race, right? Does it relate to competition? Really? Yeah, maybe it does, right? We're going to run a race, we're going to run a foot race, we're going to have a race. Right? So why was that put into our language to relate to something else? Okay, how does a race relate to species? Any of you guys that do biology and stuff like that, you'll understand there's a difference between species and race. All right. How does the word race relate to the word breed? Am I an animal? I mean, there are different breeds of animals, right? So, what's the difference between race and breed? That being said, because we are a species of humanity, can the races interact or can they reproduce? Yeah, I've got a couple of sets of kids in the Philippines from a Filipino woman, Asia. I've got a couple of sets of kids in America from an African American woman. So yeah, it's possible. I know that. I don't believe it. I know it. All right. So, what are the dangers and taboos in terms of reproduction in the species? So I can answer that question, and I'm going to answer it. There is a taboo that you don't, and the elites, they don't believe in this. Ask the Galtons and the Darwins. You know, they were playing together for 300 years. If you want to go back and look at the history of the Galtons and the Darwins, they proved that. If you make love to your sister or your auntie or your mom, and you have kids, sometimes they're going to be imbeciles, and everybody knows that. I mean, if you don't know that, that's pretty much something that you probably should know. If someone's going to get mad at you, that puts you in jail. There's laws against all that stuff. All right. So, how does culture influence and affect natural selection? Right. So, because we have taboos, we want to have the widest variety of the species so that we can keep going on the planet. So that means that if you find a mate that is not your brother, sister, auntie, uncle, cousin, I think up to second cousin, it's okay. So that means black, white, Chinese, Mongolian with Chinese, you know, Indian with Mongolian, Mongolian with African. That's all good. That's all a good thing. So why is it that that's not a good thing in our culture? So how does it affect natural selection? So, you know, basically, I'm getting somewhere with this, okay? I want you to start thinking about this, people. First of all, the idea of race is not accurate. If you're going to think about the human species as an animal, okay, what you want to think about is what type of breed they are. If you're in the cattle industry, if you're in the chicken industry, if you're in the llama industry, if you're in any industry that exploits these animals for sale, you'll know that you don't want to sell mongrels. I got a dog over here that's making some barking. You don't want to do that. So, but mongrels are diverse. So if you take a look at your DNA, a lot of people have looked at that. We're not necessarily all black. That's a racist term. We're not all necessarily Afrikaners. We're not all Semitic. We're not all Caucasus. Okay. There's a lot more other ones here too. You know, what's the species related to? A breed? Well, we're all the human species, and there is a breed, and the breeds can interbreed, right? So, okay, so culture. First of all, I'd like to state something. There's nobody here that is alive that was in the 1800s, 17 or 1600s. Nobody. So the claims that are being made that, you know, there's been tort from me on the African side of the equation, okay? I hear this. I hear people, they're all mad about that. But you know what? None of these people were technically those kinds of chattel. But I got some news for all of us. We're all chattel. All of us. Every one of us. That's a fancy word for saying slave. So what's going on? No one's asking a bunch of questions for this complicated situation. Instead, no one's asking questions at all as to why this is happening. As a group, as a nation, as a world society, people are complying. They're not thinking, they're just complying. That's why the world at large is going to fall. There are no good questions. There's just reactions. That's what's going on. This is a kind of a long video, and I hope people can stay with it. But basically, turn your television set off. Look at your neighbor and say hello. And I think people do around here quite a bit. And other parts of our nation, people do. The other day, though, there are people out there that are wearing masks, and they think that that's going to save them. No, wearing a mask is not going to save you. It's going to destroy us. Look. Can you see me? Now you can. You can see my facial expressions. You can see all this stuff. You can laugh at this. You can do anything you want. Why? Because I'm expressing my humanity to another human on a camera. This is really great because this is personal. You know, get personal with people. The phone has taken you away from your humanity, and that spells the end of humanity. Do things that are selfless. Do things for your spirituality. Where are you going after you die? So you're just going to fight and kill everybody and knock statues down and burn things down, right? That's exactly what a certain breed that they call themselves the elites. I'm going to get away from this dog. A certain breed, they call themselves the elites, okay, that interbreed with each other. They break all the rules. They're the ones that control. They control everything out here, okay? If you're watching these television sets or whatever, the YouTube, take a good thought about this, okay? A corpse is dead. A corpse can't speak. And yet the definition of a person, by Black's Law, look it up, is a corporation. You're an individual, but you have no rights. This is what's happened in 40 years. I'm 60 now. 40 years, this thing has happened. Wake up, America. Wake up, world. Try to understand that you got to ask the answers to some hard questions in order to get some real good peace inside of yourself. Anyway, all we have is ourselves, and we're only here on this planet. A lot of people are saying there's a lot of non-humans here and humans and whatever, but we are all human. Wake up, people, because all we have is ourselves. All right, 12 Soul out. Talk to y'all later.